Rockets won convincingly last night, 107-92 over the Washington Wizards. Alperen Şengün led the way. He had 27 and 17 on a night where the Rockets did not shoot particularly well from outside. They were 5 of 23. Yikes, that's a low number. Reed Shepherd at least hit one of them. So that was cool to see him hit a pull-up three. Rockets 7-4. They had another win over the weekend, close one against Detroit. Rough loss against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Friday. They're fifth in the West, Joe. They had the seventh best record in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that I feel like they would have lost maybe even last year. Definitely in the Steven Silas era, of course, because they were so young. But to miss that many threes and still win by 15 points, it is an important thing. I think distinction for this team about how they're growing as a basketball team. I really liked watching Ime Thompson with the starting group last night. I mean, Fred VanVleet, he's good, but I am excited for the kind of the next chapter of what this team turns into over time. So it was fun to see Ime Thompson out there with the starters, and Alpi was awesome in last night's game too.
Yeah, and look, against a team like Washington, this is what you are expected to do more often than not now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in years past, they not only would they have lost this game, they would have just been the Wizards playing against a team that's hoping to make the playoffs, probably going to be in the play-in. Like that, it was a classic game where the team that's better kind of leads the entire way. The worst team makes some runs to make it interesting, and then at the end of the game, the Rockets have Alperen Şengün and the Wizards have Alex Sarr, and Alex Sarr had zero answers for Şengün. I don't think I've ever seen anyone that in an NBA game just like that outmatched when that's what the defense is trying. That's the matchup the defense wants. Mm-hmm. Like normally there's some sort of, mismatch, you get a switch or something and oh God, we're cooked. No, every time down the court, they're like, Sarr gets Şengün, and every time Şengün would score. It was crazy.
The one time that you have an NBA team the locker room that in that moment for this situation would prefer Rudy Gobert. Different Frenchman.
Yes.
A bigger, more defensive Frenchman.
When you bring up the Wizards and the locker room, I thought you were going with a different story from 15 years ago.
Oh, the guy with the gun?
I thought maybe you're leading down the road.
Crittenden and Gilbert Arenas.
Someone should have pulled a gun on Alex Sarr for the defense he was playing. Okay, that's not what you're saying.
No, was that only 15 years ago?
It was probably 2007-8 range.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For what it's worth, I mean, the Rockets did play with their food a little bit on Sunday against the Pistons, so they're not completely past this. But yeah, against a team like Washington, one of the worst in the league, 2-7, you're expecting games like that. It is interesting to notice that the Milwaukee Bucks are 2-8. We will do a Giannis watch segment.
They're terrible
at some point this week. They really stink, and apparently no team has been more active in trying to start trade conversations to add to Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard than them.
They're the person in the fantasy league.
I cannot
please take Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I can't believe we're already got please make a trade with us. Guys, it's 10 games in the season.
I was going to say, we're 2 weeks from Thanksgiving. This is early.
Surely Doc Rivers will be able to figure this out.
Oh, yeah. Ubuntu.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope they just fire a coach midway through the season again for the second year in a row.
Keep doing it. Meanwhile, don't look at what the Phoenix Suns record is with Mike Budenholzer. Don't look at it.
Don't look.
Just if you're a Bucks fan, don't look at it. Don't worry about it.
It's opposite of yours.
Don't.
Rockets fans are throwing celebrations in the street for something that was said after last night's game. I think we got to take a chill pill. I think we have to relax. Big Sarge Sports asked Ime Udoka this question.
Coach, is there anybody that you played with or played against that reminds you of Tariq with the amount of energy and the way that he plays the game?
I would say Kawhi was a guy I coached when young and does a lot of similar things as far as being disruptive and just taking the ball from people. Kawhi would be the only guy that I saw do it at that level. But his instincts are great. Energy is great, and he gives you a spark every night. So whether you call a play for him or not, he's going to impact the game on defensive end on the offensive glass, slashing, cutting, offensive rebounds, shooting threes, and all around. So I would say Kawhi is the one guy that he reminds me somewhat of.
Somewhat of. Just remember the last two words. Somewhat of. We're talking about the energy, and we're talking about old Kawhi Leonard. So that is a really high compliment because current Kawhi Leonard, I don't know if he has energy to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
Is that edited at all?
Nope.
That audio clip?
Nope.
Probably not.
Okay. So
deep fakes are crazy. I know.
no, actually, it's the amount of time, like how quickly he responded with Kawhi. Like this was pre-planned, right? Or like they've had this conversation like off the record of
I
like,
don't
he
know.
reminds me of Kawhi. He's like Kawhi. Like you got to know, like it's gonna raise some people's eyebrows when you say it.
I mean, Kawhi was a guy who it took a while for him to be like Kawhi F and Leonard, like Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard. I have like 8 points a game as a rookie, 12, 13, 16 and a half in year 4. Like it did take a while for him to be an all-star, all-NBA kind of guy. So I think that is what Ime Udoka is talking about is like at this point in the journey, it's shades of Kawhi and it's a little bit of the draft thing where you can't say like he reminds me of and then some random player who he does play like but isn't someone we would remember. It's easier just go everyone in this room knows Kawhi Leonard, so
Yeah, it would be
close
funny.
enough.
It would be funny if you just gave a random answer.
Someone I played at Portland State with. Yeah.
Tony Allen. Although Tony Allen, some people know him, but
You know
again,
what's so funny, Paul?
named a superstar.
I was just thinking the same player in my head. Like I was like, what if he said Tony Allen?
I mean, really,
but then people would be mad because Tony Allen couldn't shoot to save anything.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. There's a lot of highly aggressive defensive players in the league, and Eason is very aggressive defensively. He had 10 points and 6 boards last night, but I mean, people like the energy. 3 steals, 2 blocks as well. When you make a comparison to a superstar, you are lending it to you are just throwing chum out there for the online Glazers, the Rockets, Mickey Mouse Club online, who is now throwing a parade because the Rockets have Kawhi Leonard on the bench.
Wait till they trade Tari Eason at some point for like Giannis, and they go, "You traded Kawhi Leonard for Giannis?"
Don't worry, they'll have Jayshawn Tate to step in, part of the core 12 for your Houston Rockets. We're having a little bit of fun at Rockets fans' expense. All I'm trying to say is it's a lot of praise that the head coach gave to Tari Eason there. Just remember the last 2 words. The Rockets played a couple of games over the weekend. They lost to the Thunder 126-107 on Friday. It was a rough game for Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün. They were 5 for 14, 3 for 12 from the field, respectively. They did beat the Pistons, though, on Sunday, 101-99. The Texans, the only team unable to beat a Detroit team on Sunday. The Astros, of course, unable to beat Detroit as well. The Rockets, the only team laying down the law
Avoided
on the
the
city of
sweep.
Detroit. Right.
Avoided the sweep.
Yeah, but they didn't cover, so
Whatevs. I mean, Jalen Green posterized Cade Cunningham. This is how that sounded on the Space City Home Network.
And then Thompson this time with a defensive play. Now find Jalen Green. Oh, we did it! Oh, we did it! Oh!
It was an incredible dunk. That is a valid response. Afterwards, did Jalen Green get teed up because it looked like he barked at Cade Cunningham?
Yeah.
Some are suggesting that this is vengeance for a moment that Cade Cunningham, in I believe either an AAU game or the pre-draft process, Cade Cunningham did a between the legs dunk and randomly touched Jalen Green on the side of the cheek right after that dunk. Green can be caught saying, I believe, let's read it one more time. It looks like he's just dropping a B word on him.
yeah.
Perhaps a P word.
Yeah, it seems like there's a little rivalry going on here.
It
Detroit
is
sucks.
spicy. I mean, it was always hilarious because these guys were both drafted 1-2, or they were drafted 1-2 in the same draft class. 2 terrible teams.
Mm-hmm.
So for a while, it was like a funny rivalry between 2 teams that were winning, like, I don't know, the Rockets won 20 games, the Pistons won 10.
There is a lot of random online discourse of Rockets fans going after Pistons fans. It's also interesting because I don't know how many people know Cody Davis, who used to cover the Rockets here, I think Locked On Rockets, and now he is covering the Detroit Pistons up there. So he's been on both sides of the war, if you will. It is really funny to see this small subplot of Rockets fans hating on a random player who is Kate Cunningham good?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Is he better than Jalen Green?
No, not right now.
He's more consistent. He's like consistent, but the highs are lower.
Yeah.
Kind of guy.
And the only thing that's awkward though is like, how can you really have beef with this team? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, Assar has been cleared from blood clots. Amen Thompson's twin.
Oh,
so eventually he'll be back on the court here.
That does not help the online community.
What happens if these two teams fight and you got the Thompson twins on the opposite ends? Like
the Thompson twins. Well, then they're
are
gonna
they gonna
say,
have to fight each other?
"Hold me now, oh my God, stay with
right
me."
when you said, "What are the Thompson twins?"
Sean, that's on me, Sean. Audience, I'm sorry.
Whoa, that's a great song. "Hold Me Now" by the Thompson twins.
My bad. That's on me.
Sean just the look of dismay on his face as he knew what was about to happen.
Just like because I saw Paul like move the mic to get into the singing position. I was like, oh, I've seen this movie.
I can't
before.
wait until that one texter who hates it when I sing to lose his mind.
But also, since they're twins and the fan base is now, it's going to be our twins better than your twin, even though they play so much alike. I mean, they're literally twins. Neither of them can shoot. Both of them are great defenders.
Yeah.
Is our twin better than their twin?
Right now, by default.
Because Devin McCourty was better than Jason McCourty.
But then eventually they played together.
Right. They did eventually play together.
Who's the better analyst?
Oh,
I think it's Jason.
I think so too.
Jason is definitely higher up, but they could be pulling a fast one.
I was going to say, can I be honest? They might be doing they could be doing a Parent Trap like scenario, and I would have no idea.
When I saw the graphic of Amen Thompson's brother, what's his name again? Assar Thompson. When I saw a graphic showing that he was like dealing with blood clots?
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, this is a big deal. And then I realized, oh wait, this isn't a big deal for me personally, but we do wish Assar Thompson well.
I had the thought of, and I assume this immediately happened, like the Rockets immediately do this. If not, like, what are they doing? Like, they're not doing their jobs.
Yeah.
You have to immediately check him for blood clots because they're twins. Like, just if if one has blood clots, check the other one. I want to see what if Amin's all clear, and I assume he is because we haven't heard anything about it.
Well, Assar's been out since March.
Yeah, he's been out. His season ended early last year. Yeah,
from these blood clots.